I'm getting ready to shoot one of my main videos and I realize this machine needs a new ribbon. So I thought I'd show the people out there how it's done. This is a Smith Corona machine from the 50s, but I'll try to be as generic as possible, so hopefully it'll work on your machine too. If this video helps you out, be sure to call a friend and tell them how much they mean to you. I got a whole video all about this machine too. I'll put a link down there if you're interested. First of all, you need a new ribbon. Lucky for us, most machines will use the same standard half-inch size ribbon. You can easily order a new one for cheap online. The ribbon I'm going to use isn't actually new. I pulled it out of another broken machine I have. It's smaller than the original ribbon, so I'm hoping it'll still work. Putting a bigger ribbon onto a smaller spool probably won't work, but winding a smaller ribbon onto a bigger spool might work okay. We'll just have to see how it goes. Our main goal is to get the old ribbon off of the machine's spools and replace it with the new one. If you're lucky, the spools are easily accessible from the outside of the machine, but on this machine they're buried inside the case, so the first thing to do is get the case off. This machine has a crank that needs to be removed, but the cranks are usually easy to get off. In my case, the thing just pulls straight out. Other times there's a little release lever thing, or sometimes a sort of a screw cap that you can undo by hand. Now let's get the case off. If you're lucky, there's a pair of quick release levers. You just flip these switches and the case should lift off. If you're unlucky, you might have to remove some screws, and if you're really unlucky, you might have to pull off some of the key tops to get the thing off. Alright, I got the case off, and here are the spools. Now when you buy a new ribbon, it'll just come on some dummy spool, and you'll have to wind it onto the original spools for your machine. The ribbons come in standard sizes, but the spools are specific to the machine, and if for some reason your machine doesn't have spools in it at all, then this might be a real problem. Anyway, the idea is the ribbon stretches across the middle here, and that's where the little numbers hit the paper to make the marks. If you look carefully at the spools, you'll see it advances the ribbon a tiny bit after every time you print something. This is so that as each part of the ribbon dries out, it'll gradually move on to the fresh parts. Anyway, you need to figure out which way the ribbon is advancing. In my case, the ribbon is moving towards this spool. That's called the lead spool, and the other one is called the lag spool. So when I wind the new ribbon on, I'm going to fill up the lag spool and leave the lead spool basically empty. Alright, take a good look at how everything's arranged and which way the spools are going, because I'm going to have to take all of this out and replace everything exactly like it is. Now you got to remove the spools. They usually have some kind of little doodad that holds them on there. In this case, it's just little screwy things. Make sure you remember which direction each spool winds, like clockwise or counterclockwise. You got to get it right. Alright, now I'm going to unwind the old ribbon and detach it from the spool. They all have different ways that the end attaches. In this case, they have this little clippy thing, which is pretty easy to get on and off. Alright, let's wind on the new ribbon, and be sure to wind it the right way. And now I see I did it backwards. I should have watched this video before I made it. Alright, stick the spools back on just right, and then put the rest of the machine together and try it out. Actually, you should probably try it out before you put the case on. Alright folks, did it work? Kinda.